Hi, this is Rich Parker from Rich Parker Image. We're on Facebook at Rich Parker Image. I'm working on setting up a website. Thanks for coming and stopping by. This video is going to be about how to make acrylic ink drop. It's a kind of art, a bit abstract, but it's nice and pretty colors. People have asked me how they are made, so I figured, I'll show you. Enjoy. Okay, here's the basic layout. I'm going to turn the light down for a minute, that's blinding. We have very simple setup here. We have one camera. I use a 80D, but I've also done this with the T6. Works just as well. We have a 1-gallon fish tank, and I'll explain why it must be a 1-gallon fish tank in a minute. Behind it, but the tank is sitting on an apple box. And behind the tank, a few inches behind, is a piece of white stock with a couple little clamps. It's just holding it in position so we have a good bounce light. I have two LED lights. These are 660s from Neewer. They're pretty good, and I put on softbox covers for them. So it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it's a lot less than you could get into it with some of the more expensive brands. I also have one Canon EXRT. It's a 600 level. I'm using that specifically to bounce off the white card. The idea is for exposure, we want to get the whole background as white as possible so we can mess with it and let the colors pop out more. Alright, just a minute. The next trick. What you've seen is I've added to the fish tank a pair of cheap, simple little pipe cleaners. The advantage is this gives me a vertical line to focus on, so I know I'm actually focusing on the middle of the tank. So if I switch through the camera view, alright, I can take one shot with autofocus, and if you don't know this trick, learn it. It's wonderful. You use this, we have it on this part of the handle, others have it other places, but it's basically a digital zoom. The advantage is when you're viewing through the viewfinder, through the LCD screen, you can get a much nicer, crisper look this way. So once you've got this ready, you set up for water. This is what I forgot the first few times that I shot. This is, I think, my 8th or 9th shoot now. Simple little fiber-free cloth. It's lint-free, which is the important part. You use this to wipe off the front of the tank so you don't have all these little white dots to have to remove in your image. Self-evident, but this is a gallon jug of water. The reason why you want the 1-gallon fish tank is so you can fill it without moving it, because once you've filled it, your focus trick isn't going to work because your pipe cleaner it'll start to float. So be right back after I fill this up. Last thing before I turn on lights, turn off the house lights and start shooting is this little thing here. The fancy name for it is intervalometer. What it basically is, it's a cable release, but it's programmable. So what you can do is you can say, start immediately, take a 1-second exposure. In other words, hold the shutter down for 1 second, wait for a total of 3 seconds, so 2 seconds after you let go, and then do it forever. Alright, so the advantage is once I push this button, I don't have to worry about the camera anymore. It's in focus. I use back button focus, so it's basically a manual focus at this point. I push this button and it'll start shooting every 2 or 3 seconds. Once I get the lights on, I'll put on briefly so you can see it. It'll be flashy, but you'll at least see what it looks like from behind. We're ready to go. I'm going to fire off the shutter boss or intervalometer or whatever you want to call it. Just going to walk over here. You can see the flash is triggering, so it's making it real bright every few seconds. What I'm going to do is drop some blue ink. There's a nice squirt. And to the left of it, I'm going to drop some green ink. Well, from my left, not camera left. Alright. And what will happen is, see, it'll change its shape periodically, and this is how I do what I do. Sometimes I put it in at different speeds or use different temperature of water. I'm getting ready for a series where I'm actually going to put like a little stirrer in there to keep everything moving. But that's basically how it works. Bottom line is, I hope you had a good laugh. My very first video, and hopefully I'll get it pieced together tonight. But this is how it works, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe if you want. It's going to be a while before I get regular, but I want to try and do, at least on weekends and maybe once during the week, at least one set of trick shots, whether we're talking about light painting or how to get close to a bunny or all kinds of silly little things that maybe you didn't pick up on. Maybe they didn't teach you. So give it a try, take a look. Hope you like it.